In order to stand up, you have to tell yourself, I don't care what they say about me, I'm still going to do it. They can call me racist, they can call me a white supremacist, it doesn't make it true.
They're not on board with this stuff. Something's wrong with them when everything inside of them is screaming, but wait, this is discrimination, this is segregation, this is harassment in a hostile environment.
After George Floyd was murdered, when everyone was rightfully upset by what happened, and that's when my company decided to bring in anti-racism training.
It's one of these cases where, good intentions have gone very awry because, obviously their goal is to better serve their population of clients, a lot of whom are clients of color and things like that. But what it really kind of turned into was turning employees against one another and sort of dividing people on racial lines.
When I objected to defunding the police, and in the context of what I do, which is domestic violence work, my clients rely on the police to arrest the offenders. Now, that doesn't always happen, and it almost never happens perfectly, but we don't have a better solution.
It takes a lot of moral courage to say, no, this is not what we need to do to be promoting diversity and equity.
When I was asked to sign the contract that said all white people are racist and I'm not the exception, I honestly couldn't believe what I was reading. I couldn't believe that they would take it that far.
When my client expressed discomfort with this, she met with resistance. She was sort of told, well, if you're not comfortable signing this, you need to come have a meeting so we can talk about it. And it's that kind of gaslighting.
And a lot of people did sign it, so it was quite obvious who didn't.
Dividing people on racial lines with these kinds of affinity groups, with educational materials that perpetuate really negative racial stereotypes, and with, I think the most egregious example is asking employees to sign something that says, I own that all white people are racist and that I am not the exception.
The basis of my complaint against my employer is a racially hostile atmosphere based on the 1964 Civil Rights Act and also state law.
The civil rights laws protect everyone, and employers do need to make sure that their employees are aware of and abiding by laws that protect all people from discrimination and from harassment in a hostile environment. So the problem is not that they're doing it, the problem is the way that they're doing it.
At my workplace, they have references, a list of references on anti-racism. And I asked them to include an article on antisemitism, which they didn't want to do, and it caused a huge stir. That was another time that I was accused of furthering white supremacy and harming Black and brown people.
More people need to just stand up and say, I see something wrong here, I don't like this, I'm not comfortable with this.
I think what prevents people from speaking out is there is a price to pay, and sometimes that price can be very scary. You can lose your job. It can be hard to get a job in your same field because you're kind of tainted. I mean, you're painted as a racist.
Something I see in my practice is that a lot of people aren't comfortable with it. A lot of people of all races and backgrounds are not comfortable with it. But there's this huge barrier to saying so because people feel like they're the only ones.